Okay, I'm not a expert on these settings. I just know what I know. So this is my first GIF, and it is 784 frames. And I remember I had it saved as a PSD at this size. And adaptive is your palette. These are your palettes. And generally I use adaptive or selective. Now I've already done this, so it's not gonna have to buffer. That's why it went so fast, because I already did it. I had this already and pre-made. But if you'll see, by going to selective, it looks like crap. In this case, in some other cases, you may have to use selective. So don't take this as how selective will always look, because selective will not always look this bad. Sometimes it'll look better. And I'm trying to figure out when does selective look better? When does adaptive look better? I honestly don't know. I do know that selective and adaptive are the best, and I never use perceptual or restrictive. So remember this, how it looks. See how dotty, blocky, unsmooth everything is. All this noise. Um, it's also 29 megabytes. Now watch when I go to adaptive. See, it looks a lot more like the video. I mean, you can still see, crap like here, dithering in here, and noise in here. But that's also, I mean, the source video isn't that good. So I'm seeing dithering. You might not be able to see all this. I'm seeing dithering. I'm seeing a lot of dithering in here. I shouldn't say a lot. I'm seeing some dithering. But it also goes up from 29 to 64. So that's a big problem. So we already know that the adaptive palette for this one is superior to the selective. And using selective on noise and diffusion, let's see if that makes a difference. I hope this doesn't have to rebuffer. That might look a little better. That does look a little better, doesn't it? Let's go back to noise. Yeah, watch in here. You see how it's basically two-tone? Let me see if I can get a pointer. I'm not sure you have a pointer in here. Yeah. You see how you have kind of this dark brown and this light brown? And let's go back to diffusion. And that gives you a better blend. So that looks a lot better on the selective palette. And it went up to 30. It didn't go up that much. But let's try it now on the adaptive palette. And on diffusion, going from diffusion to noise. Oh boy, that's really hard to tell. I'm going to have to zoom in. Not that much. Right about to there. Let's go back to diffusion and noise. That's really hard for me to tell. I think noise looks a little better. I'm looking at this dithering and noise right here. Watch how there's a little bit more detail under noise. Just a little bit more detail. What I'm seeing is detail anyway. And watch when I go back to diffusion. There's a little less detail. So I think adaptive and noise looks the best, but it's also 64 megabytes. So what I had to do to make this one fit was I had to do something that I never do, and that's use no dither. Now, no dither made it look pretty terrible, didn't it? Maybe that's not what I did. Does no dither look better than selective? Oh, it's having to re-render that. Selective, no dither. And this took, I think, a couple minutes to render. I hope it goes. Keep going. Sometimes it gets like towards the end and just kind of stops. But it's not. Go, go. Oh, yes. Oh, that looks terrible. Selective, no dither. adaptive, no dither. Let's try selective noise. I think I actually had to go adaptive, no dither. I think that's how I did it. And it was 49.49 megabytes. And let me press play. I don't know if you know you can play. You can skip. Yeah, see, it was just that one scene that looks bad. Oh boy, I'm getting tearing, and I don't know if you saw that line, that's called tearing. And you see how these are kind of off, like sections are lagging? That's called tearing. That's a video game. Yeah, this is what I had to use. And it doesn't look bad once it's playing, except that one section. That one section that I happened to pick. Oh, you can see some yuckies in here. Let's see. Where is that bad section? Yep, that's what I had to do. So I had to play around with these, and I've never used no dither before, but I'm pretty sure I had to. And let me check it out. I don't know if you know this trick. Drag and drop your GIF into a web browser, and you can. Yeah, that's definitely no dither. But anyway, that's how I did my ISL one, and you know it looks fine. It looks fine if you just look at it, but when you start looking at it and seeing like some stuff, it looks bad. But anyway, I'm not sure if I helped or hurted, hoited, whatever the word is, hurt. I hope that helps.